Family betrayed me until they saw my success. It started with a whisper, a seed of doubt planted long ago, and blossomed into a full-blown family feud. But never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that one fateful wedding night, surrounded by the judgmental stares of my own blood, I'd find myself standing center stage. My life's passion unexpectedly vindicated. My family always saw me as a failure, a joke, the gardener destined for nothing more than playing in the dirt. They couldn't have been more wrong. My name is Jenny, and I come from a long line of restaurant owners. It's in our blood, or so they said. My dad, Joe, is the head chef, a culinary tyrant who demands perfection. My mom, Linda, is his perfect partner, a whirlwind of efficiency, managing the staff and keeping everything running like clockwork. Then there's my older brother, Mike, the golden child, groomed from birth to take over the family business. Growing up, I always knew I was different. I remember sitting at the dinner table one night, the air thick with the aroma of Dad's famous roast. Mom was going on about some new recipe they were trying out. "Jenny, you'll love this one. What's it called again?" Mom asked, her eyes sparkling. "Thyme," I mumbled, picking at my food, wanting to disappear. "Who cares about some herb? Wait till you see the new grill Dad's getting for the restaurant. That's the real deal." Dad chimed in, slapping the table. "Speaking of the restaurant, Jenny, when are you going to start taking an interest? You're not getting any younger." I tried to make myself small in my chair, the knot in my stomach tightening. It was the same conversation every time. "I don't know. I like being outside." Dad scoffed. "What are you going to do with plants? You need a real job, Jenny, something to fall back on." No one in my family got it. No one except Grandma Rose. Grandma Rose lived in a small house on the outskirts of town. She was patient, kind, and she understood me in a way no one else did. I would often escape to her house, seeking solace in her garden. "Jenny, dear, come help me plant these tulips," she'd say, her face bright with a smile. I'd sit down beside her, feeling the cool dirt on my hands, the scent of the earth filling my senses. "Grandma, why don't Mom and Dad understand? I love this. I love being here with the plants." Grandma Rose wiped her brow and looked at me with those wise, old eyes. "Your parents just want what's best for you, Jenny, but they don't see the world the same way we do. There's magic in these plants, in the earth. It's okay to be different." At school, the teasing never stopped. Mike's friends would call me the gardener in a tone that made it sound like an insult. "Hey, gardener, are you going to plant some lettuce for tonight's salad?" jeered Jared, his friends laughing behind him. I just rolled my eyes and walked away. I knew they didn't get it. They didn't see the beauty in a single leaf, the peace in the morning dew. But I did, and in those moments, with my hands in the soil, I felt like I was where I belonged. High school graduation was like standing at a crossroads. I was about to take the road less traveled, a path completely foreign to my family's expectations. The house was buzzing with excitement over Mike's plans to join Dad at the restaurant. I felt like a spectator in my own life. One evening, we were all gathered in the living room. Dad was going on about expanding the restaurant. "Mike, you're going to be right at the heart of this," he said. Mike puffed up like a proud rooster. "I've got some ideas already, Dad. We're going to make this place huge." I sat there, fiddling with the loose thread on the couch, feeling invisible. "And what about you, Jen, ready to step up? You can handle the front desk, learn the ropes." I took a deep breath. It was now or never. "Actually, I'm not going to work at the restaurant. I'm going to study landscape design," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. The room went silent. "Landscape what now?" Dad barked. "That's no career for you. You're a part of this family, and the restaurant is our legacy. What are you going to do, plant flowers for a living?" I felt my cheeks burning, the familiar sting of their disapproval. "Yes, actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm good at it, and I love it." Mom's face was a mix of confusion and worrying. "Jenny, be sensible. You can't make a living off playing in the dirt." I stood up, feeling a surge of defiance. "It's not just playing in the dirt, Mom. It's creating something beautiful, something real. I'm not asking for your approval, but I'm telling you, this is my decision." Dad's face hardened. "If you choose this foolishness, you're on your own. Don't expect any help from us." I felt a knot in my stomach. "I'll do it on my own." Grandma Rose finally spoke, her voice surprisingly firm. "Joe, let the girl follow her heart. She's got a gift, and it would be a sin to waste it." Dad let out a frustrated grunt, turning away. "Fine, do what you want, but don't come crying to us when it all falls apart." Mike called out after me, his voice dripping with sarcasm. "Good luck, gardener. Let's see how far those flowers get you." Stepping into college life felt like diving into deep water. I was far from the familiar paths of my family's expectations, ready to carve my own way in the world of landscape design. I still remember the buzz of the first day in class. I found a spot in the back, trying to shrink into the shadows. "Hey there, newbie, I'm Zoe. First timer in landscape design." I gave a shy nod. "Yeah, I'm Jenny." She grinned. "You'll fit right in. Wait till you get your hands into the real dirt. What dragged you into this world? I hesitated. The sting of my family's disapproval still fresh. I've always loved plants. It's where I feel right, you know. Zoe smiled. Perfect place for you, then. Classes were a whirlwind of learning and creating. I was absorbing everything like a sponge, from the science of soils to the art of design. I was finally speaking a language I loved. After one particularly intense session, Mr. Davidson, our professor, a man as tall and sturdy as an oak tree, called me over. Jenny, your designs. There's something special there, he said, his voice serious but encouraging. Thank you, Mr. Davidson. I'm just trying to do my best. He leaned forward. There's potential in you. Don't let it go to waste. Push harder. His words became my mantra. I started to practically live in the studio, my designs becoming more ambitious, more expressive. It was exhausting, but exhilarating. But even in those moments of joy, I couldn't completely escape the pull of my family. Despite everything, I gathered the courage to call home. The phone rang, each tone heavy with anticipation. What do you want? Mom snapped. But I pushed on. I just wanted to check in, see how everyone is. She snorted. Oh, now you care, after running off to play in the dirt, abandoning your own family. I clenched my teeth, fighting to keep my voice steady. I didn't abandon anyone, Mom. I just chose a different path. Mom scoffed. A dead-end path, you mean? Don't expect us to be here waiting when it all crumbles around you. The call ended soon after, leaving a sour taste in my mouth. But it also fueled the fire in me. I dove back into my work with a new intensity, determined to prove myself, not just to my family, but to myself. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, and mine came in the form of a phone call during my final year of college. Jenny, it's about your grandma, Clara said, her voice cracking with emotion. She passed away last night. I felt the ground slip away beneath me. Grandma Rose had been my rock, the one person who believed in my dreams. Losing her felt like losing a part of myself. The funeral was a somber affair. My family was their dad, Mom, and Mike, all wearing expressions of forced grief. After the service, I overheard Mom talking to Aunt Clara. I still can't believe she left that house to Jenny. What's she going to do with it? She can barely take care of herself, Mom said, her voice dripping with disapproval. I felt a surge of anger, but bit my tongue. I didn't want a confrontation. The reading of the will was a few days later. Grandma Rose had left me her house, the beautiful garden haven where I had spent countless hours. My family was shocked. Why would she leave it to Jen? She's never around anyway. Dad's face was like thunder. This is ridiculous. That house could have been sold and put money into the restaurant. My voice shook, but I stood my ground. Grandma knew I loved that house, that garden. It was where we spent so much time together. I'm going to keep it. Mom's response was cold and harsh. So you're just going to live there alone, play in the dirt? What a waste. I started renovating the place, pouring my heart into every plant. It became my sanctuary, a place where I could be myself, away from the judgment and expectations of my family. The day the invitation to Mike's wedding arrived at my doorstep was a day of mixed feelings. I decided to go, but on my terms. I dressed in a way that felt true to me, elegant but simple, a far cry from the dirt-stained clothes they remembered. I spotted my family across the room, Mom, Dad, and Mike, and braced myself. As I walked over, Mom said, I didn't think you'd accept the invitation. I came to see Mike get married. It's a family event, I replied, trying to keep my voice level. Mike sneered. What's the matter? Run out of bushes to trim. Decided to play dress up for a change. I brushed it off. I'm just here to wish you well, Mike. It's your big day. Dad's eyes were cold. You chose your path. I kept my voice steady. I'm not here to rehash old arguments. Just wanted to wish Mike a happy married life. I am happy to see that he is following in the footsteps of Dad by using everyone around him to gain a false sense of achievement and ego. Sitting there, I could feel the whispers, the judging stares. That's the gardener, they whispered, the black sheep of the family. Yes, I was the gardener, the one who had dared to follow her own path. I was no longer the shy, unsure girl they remembered, but a woman who had found her strength, who had bloomed in spite of them. Sipping my drink, I tried to make myself invisible. Look who's here, the family's little dirt digger. Jared sneered as he and Chris approached, their faces flushed with alcohol. I took a deep breath, steeling myself. Actually, I'm a landscape designer, but I wouldn't expect you to understand the difference. Chris cut in with a laugh. Oh, listen to her. Thinks she's all high and mighty now. My hands clenched under the table. I've worked hard for my success. My job is more than just playing in the dirt. Just then, an elderly man from the next table interjected. I've seen this young lady's work. The new park downtown, that's hers. It's outstanding. Jared and Chris were visibly taken aback, their smugness faltering. Muttering under their breath, they slunk away. That's when I overheard Mike speaking to a group of his friends. She's always been the odd one, his voice laced with a mix of amusement and disdain. His friends laughed loudly. Every family's got its black sheep. Huh, their words were like a slap. Hey Jenny, I heard Lucy, a friend of the bride, say as she approached me. I've seen some of your designs online. You're really talented. I managed a small smile. Thanks, Lucy. It means a lot, especially today. I'm glad you stuck to your path, she said. Her words were a small comfort amidst the thorns of the evening. As Lucy drifted away, I returned to my corner, sipping my drink, longing for the celebration to end. The wedding night was winding down, its fancy aura overshadowed by my own tangled feelings. Just when I thought the night couldn't get any more surreal, the mayor, a distant relative of Mike's bride, took the stage for a speech. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a delight to be here, he began, his voice booming across the room. I want to highlight a special guest, a true star in the world of landscape design. Jenny? Hearing my name, I almost choked on my drink, feeling like a deer caught in headlights. The mayor beamed at me. Jenny here is the brilliant mind behind the transformation of our city park. She's a celebrated landscape designer who's won multiple awards for her incredible work. Let's give her the recognition she deserves. I glanced at my family's table and saw their faces, a mix of shock and embarrassment. Is he talking about your sister, the gardener? Mike mumbled something, looking like he wished the floor would swallow him up. The mayor's praise continued. Jenny's work has revitalized our city. She's a true talent. Amidst the clapping, I felt a surge of confidence. The mayor's words were like a spotlight. Then, seizing the moment, I decided to speak up. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your kind words. It's an honor to contribute to our city's beauty. I paused, settling my gaze on my family. It's funny, isn't it, how life turns out? Mike, you and your bride are perfect for each other. Your shared talent for rudeness to others is quite remarkable. The room went silent, the air thick with tension. My parents, my brother, and his fiancée blushed a deep red, their shame visible as if I'd slapped them. Mom's voice cut through the silence, sharp as a knife. Jenny, what are you saying? This is your brother's wedding. I stood my ground. Just speaking the truth. Mom, something our family seems to struggle with. Mike stood up, his face red with anger. You can't come here and talk to us like that. I held my ground. I've earned my right to speak. His friends and others sitting with them encouraged him to sit down before it became a spectacle. As I sat back down, I had spoken my piece, stood up for myself in a way I never had before. I was no longer just the gardener or the outcast. I was a landscape designer, someone who had grown past my family's narrow expectations. The wedding ended with an awkward nod from my family and a feeling of empowerment that I had never experienced before. A few days later, my phone rang. It was Mom. Her voice had a sweetness to it that fell out of place. Jenny, darling, we've been hearing so much about your work. Your father and I are so proud of you. I raised an eyebrow. Really? There was a pause on the line. Well, we were thinking, maybe you could come over? We'd love to see you, catch up on things. I could almost hear the gears turning in her head, wondering if this was about catching up or catching on to my bank account. I'm good, Mom. Enjoy the restaurant. I said before she could respond. I hung up. A few days later, there was a knock at my door. Mike was standing there, looking defeated. Hey, Jenny, can we talk? I crossed my arms. This should be good. He shifted uncomfortably. Look, I know we haven't been great, but you're doing well. And I was wondering if you could, help me out a bit. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. Help you out? After years of calling me the gardener and laughing at my ambitions, he stammered. I didn't mean it like that. It's just that things are tough, and I need help running our family restaurant. Save it. Mike, I cut him off. I'm not your ATM. You and the family made it clear how you felt about me. You can't just waltz back into my life when it's convenient. You made your bed. After he left, my phone rang a few more times over the next week, but I didn't answer. I was done with their fair weather affection. I was driving my own ship, and that was all that mattered. As I looked around at the plants and flowers that were a testament to my hard work and passion, I realized I had everything I needed right here. This wasn't just the end of a chapter, it was the beginning of a whole new book, my book. And I was going to make sure it was a bestseller, written in my own style. The new growth in my life was just starting. Looking back on everything, did I handle the situation the right way by standing up for myself at the wedding and ultimately cutting off my family after their attempts to reconnect were clearly driven by my success? Or should I have tried to maintain some semblance of a relationship despite their past behavior? I'm curious to hear your perspective and would appreciate your honest thoughts on how you would have approached things given the circumstances I faced, so please let me know what you think, considering all the factors involved.